Special order. Typically what happens here? One time. Otherwise it wouldn't be special, it would be everyday business. It's considered, you're looking at a short-run pricing decision. Your choices are accept or reject. Typically what happens with a special order? Someone's looking to buy usually a large amount of your product or even your service. So buy a large amount. And since they're willing to buy a whole lot, they want a special price. Or really, they want to pay less. Typical pricing decisions. You want to cover all your costs. We just got through talking about break even. We had to have total revenue equal total cost, or we don't break even. So we had to come and consider all our costs when setting our price for our product. But with a special order, it's a one-time deal. It is going to be a short-run pricing decision. Well, for a short-run pricing decision, it's beyond our normal sales. So it's beyond normal sales. And as long as we have excess capacity, meaning we're not going to have to buy new equipment or set up a new plant or hire a new supervisor or anything like that. Well, why would we need to cover our basically fixed costs with a short-run pricing decision? Because should we have set up normal production or normal sales should equal a total cost. This is additional. This is bonus. So when deciding how much we're willing to accept to pay less, we should factor in only the incremental costing to make the additional items. So for making something, the direct material. Obviously we need to sell it for enough to cover the direct material. The direct labor that's going in. Any of the other variable overhead costs. If electricity is going to go up and that sort of thing. And then of course any extras they're wanting to add to their special order. If they want to put a logo on it, any cost related to specifically that special order. As long as we have excess capacity and normal sales should cover our total cost, which this whole fixed cost related to the rent, the depreciation, the factory supervisor salary, and so forth. We should have set up our normal sales to do that. This is special. This is more. All right. So let's look at a problem. One of the treats that Mikey's Tasty Treats produces is a sugar-free brownie. Okay, so we have the sugar-free brownie here. Mikey's has capacity to produce 60,000 batches of the sugar-free brownie per year, but currently only produces 20,000 batches. So that means, well, we could produce a whole lot more. We got this excess capacity. We could run another shift, whatever, and produce more. Currently, they sell these sugar-free brownie batches for $22. Cost of producing and selling one batch is followed. We've got the ingredients, direct labor, variable overhead, the allocated fixed overhead, and the selling cost. Just Jack's Frozen Diet Entrees wants to add a sugar-free dessert item to its menu and is considering Mikey's sugar-free brownies. This outside company is basically kind of looking to almost kind of partner with us. They're looking for a dessert that they can put into their diet entrees, and so they offered us $450,000 for 30 batches of the sugar-free brownies. Kind of wanted to test this out, and this could be a future deal with them, but right now they want 30,000 batches, and they said, hey, we'll pay $450,000 for them. We have the capacity to do it. We're only currently producing 20, and we could do up to 60. So physically, we could do this order. But is it worth it to us? Okay, company management got together and said, oh, and we also are going to be able to eliminate $1 of the selling cost because it's a direct order, so we don't have to pay like sales commission or something. But the company management put together this little report saying, okay, here are $450,000, here are the costs. We're going to lose $90,000 on this deal. No, we're not doing it. They either come in with a higher amount they're willing to pay, or just forget it. Take a few minutes, look at this. Try to figure out what you think Mikey should do. Talk to your neighbor. Alright, so the idea here, what I wanted you to look at before I show you how to show a way to work this out. There's multiple ways to figure this out. There's no one correct way of going through the decision process. Except for the idea is you're looking for things that differ between your choices, accepting and rejecting. What's going to happen if I accept the order? What's going to happen if I reject the order? What's going to differ? Well, obviously, if I accept the order, I am going to be making $450,000. So that's what they're offering me. If I reject it, I get $0. Okay. Well, that's clear. And even though management saw that, and they put that in the sales. What else happens if we accept it? Well, if we accept it, we got to make these brownies. So that means we're going to have direct material costs, we're going to have direct labor costs, we're going to have that variable overhead cost that goes in specifically to make those brownies. The $5 per batch, the $4 per batch, the $3 per batch. We won't have those costs if we reject it. We're not going to be out that money. Won't happen. We don't have to buy and start making these brownies if we're not going to sell it. But what about this fixed allocated overhead? Remembering back about fixed costs and allocating costs, what this translates into? So currently produces 20,000. That translates into $100,000 of fixed cost. What happened? We were allocating it over our normal production of 20,000 batches. That's where the $5 came in. What's going to happen when we produce more? This 100,000 will stay the same. Remember, it's going to be no matter how many brownies. Spelled brownies wrong. It's going to remain constant. Yes, we're going to be able to allocate it, if we're wanting to do an allocation method, over more brownies, but that's not going to change our total cost. So, it's going to be the same under accept or reject. We're still going to be out $100,000. So that does not differ between our two decisions, so it's irrelevant. And then we have the $1 batch for selling. Selling costs normally $2, but we understand it's only going to be $1 for this order. Well, if we don't sell them, we won't be out that. So it's relevant. So how do we decide if we accept or reject? We understand the fixed cost won't go up like management is saying, $150,000, because it's fixed. It can't go up $150,000. So we can either recreate this report that they did, and show that sales would be $450,000. That yes, we would be out direct materials, direct labor, variable overhead. The 5 times 30. And selling 1 times. And see that that would be that would give us income on this special order of 60,000. Or we could have taken those and add them up and see that they were $13 times 30,000 to get 390 total cost. We're offering 450 minus 390 equals 60. Or we could even take it a step further if we wanted to see the total difference between accepting and rejecting, adding this piece to our normal sales, figuring out $22 times the 20, and figuring out normal sales cost, where we would have our sales would be 22 times the 20 we normally sell, plus the 450. Going in and showing that fixed cost is the same under the income statement, under accept and reject, and actually see that there was a $60,000 difference between the two decisions. That's another way we could go about figuring out if we should accept or reject. Okay. So there are 3 different ways on actually doing the calculation side. But the thing to focus on is simply what differs between the two. Well, that's going to be, in this case, what it takes to actually make, and that $1 we have to sell it for, whatever variable selling cost that is. But the idea is that on a special one-time pricing order, we don't have to factor in fixed costs. That comes in with our normal sales. Now, yes, if later on Jax decides, wow, these brownies are great, they're making our diet entrees sell like crazy, we want 60,000 batches from you a year. Well, then that's going to start replacing our normal sales. And we got to make a decision there. What we need to say, okay, look, you're going to have to pay a little bit more because we're going to be losing our normal sales at $22 each. You guys are going to have to start covering our fixed costs. That would be a long-term pricing decision. But right now, it's a one-time thing. All we have to cover is our variable cost to make it. Okay? Questions on that?